Researchers have studied for years what triggers specific animals to have a loving response to each other, to human beings, etc. For example, female turkeys are one of the most mothering animals in the animal kingdom. They're more attentive and loving with their young than most species. Now, what's interesting is researchers wanted to find out what triggers this loving response. Their assumption was it was seeing their baby turkey that would make them have this mothering instinct. But when they tested this research, they found out seeing the baby turkeys did not trigger it. They next assumed, well, it must be the touch of the baby turkey against its mother. They found that was not true. And they thought, well, it must be the smell. Again, it wasn't the smell. They found that what triggers a mother turkey to have this mothering response for its young is the sound that a baby turkey makes. That simple little cheep, cheep sound. In fact, this is such a powerful trigger or anchor or strategy for the turkey that you can take a stuffed polecat. And bear in mind, in the wild, a polecat is a turkey's arch enemy. But take a stuffed polecat on a string, pull it towards a turkey, and a turkey will tear it to shreds. If you take a stuffed polecat, however, and you put inside of it a little tape recorder of the sound of a baby turkey saying cheep, cheep, the mother turkey will begin to mother the stuffed polecat. That is why they call them turkeys. I'm just kidding. The reality is, though, that they're not the only animals in the animal kingdom that have this kind of response. Insects even have specific triggers that cause them to mate, for example. So it's not unique for human beings to have a specific trigger for love. What is unique is for you to be aware of it and for you to utilize this to enhance your relationship. Let me ask you a question. You remember we said in the beginning of a relationship, in the stage called courting, what did you do to let this person know you love them? You did everything. Remember, you showed them, you told them, you touched them everywhere. But as time went by, you still loved them, but did you really still do it all? And the answer for most people is no. Whose love strategy did you express your love to this person in? In other words, did you find out what makes them feel loved, or did you assume that they feel loved the same way you do, that it's triggered in the same way? And the answer for most people is the latter. So what happens? Well, in the beginning relationship, you do it all, so you both make each other feel loved. Law of averages says you covered all bases. Let's say, for example, you have a visual love strategy. So how are you going to probably try and express love to the person you're in a relationship with? You're going to want to show them the same way you get it, right? So you're going to probably buy them some nice things, take them places, you're looking at them in a real loving way, assuming this person feels totally loved by you. One day this person's going to turn to you and say, you know, honey, I just got to tell you, I just don't feel deeply loved by you. And you're going to say, what? What are you talking about? I take you every place. Look at that ring on your finger. If that ain't love, what is? And they're going to say, yeah, but you never say you love me. Oh, well, big deal. I show you. Yeah, but I need to hear it. Fine. I love you. I doubt seriously if that's going to be the perfect tonality that they need to hear in order to feel loved. See, they don't just even hear the words. They got to hear the right tonality as well. It's a very specific trigger and unique for everyone. Now let's take the other option. Let's say you have an auditory love strategy, and so you try and express to your lover, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other that you love them. How are you going to do it? You're going to tell them. One day you're going to turn to them with the most loving tone of voice and say, I love you so much. What happens? Let's say this person has a visual love strategy. You're going to go, yeah, talk's cheap. Why don't you buy me something? Take me someplace. Look at me. Don't go, do. Look at me. You're going to go, I am looking at you. Yeah, but look at me the way you used to. Well, how's that look? Well, you should know how it looks. There's this lack of rapport. Or how about if you get a situation where, let's say you've got an auditory love strategy and the person you're with has a kinesthetic one. You're going to say, I love you, but that's not going to do it. This person needs to be touched in a certain way. Or the most challenging love strategy combination of all for a relationship is when you got, for example, a man who's very kinesthetic or feeling oriented. What does he want? He comes home. What does he want to do? He wants to hug. Hi, honey. And he wants to touch and hold you in a certain way. And let's say you're a visual love strategy and you go, leave me alone. Quit grabbing at me. What do you think I'm a piece of meat? Take me someplace. That's the kind of relationship that creates a major challenge. The point is, if you want your relationship to last, you got to do two things. The first key then to succeeding here is knowing what the strategy is of the person you're in a relationship with. Find out from this person what makes you feel most loved. Don't ask them what they like. They like everything. They want to be shown. They want to be told. They want to be touched. But say to the person, ask the person you're in a relationship with this question. Say, can you remember a time when you felt most loved by me? So really get them to search their memory for a time when they felt deeply loved by you. And then what your job is to use the process of elimination. And one by one to find out which one of these three is strongest for the person you're in a relationship with. And the way you do that is not ask them again, do they want these three things? They want all three. Well, your job is, once they're in a state where they can remember a time when they felt really loved by you, ask them, in order for you to feel these deep feelings of love, is it absolutely necessary that I show you I love you by buying you things, taking you places, or looking you a certain way? Notice the key words here. In order for you to feel these deep feelings of love, is it absolutely necessary? Not is it important. Is it absolutely necessary that I show you that I love you in a certain way by buying you things, taking you to certain places, or looking you a certain way? Now if the person goes, well, yeah, that's clearly not it. So say, well, remember that time when you felt totally deeply loved? And make sure they really get back in that same state of mind. They go, yeah. Say, in order for you to feel these deep feelings of love, is it absolutely necessary that I tell you I love you in a certain way? Is that absolutely necessary for you to feel the deepest feelings of love? And they say, well, yeah, that sounds closer, but it doesn't sound like it's it. So then again, put them back in state. Remember how you feel when you really feel deeply loved by me? Oh, yeah. Great. In order for you to feel those deep feelings of love, is it absolutely necessary I touch you in a certain way? Is that absolutely necessary for you to feel totally loved? Well, yeah. By the change of tonality or the nod of the head or by the physical response, you'll find out which one it is. In this case, it would be touch. And then you find out the specific touch. Because is it possible that the person you're in a relationship with needs to be touched to feel loved in a certain way, but you do it differently than what they need? Like, for example, maybe you reach out and grab them tight because you assume that makes them feel loved, when really what would make them feel more loved is a gentle touch of their right cheek, or the touch on the back of their neck, or a real light hug. See, you want to find out what the needs of your partner are. Hey, if you want to succeed in a relationship, you got to have deep caring, which means you got to find out, what does this person really want? You've got to communicate every single day about what's really going on with each other and ways to support each other. And you've got to commit to do whatever it takes to make the relationship work. Strategies are part of that commitment, and they're a lot of fun. Because once you know your partner's strategy, it means you'll be able to trigger them to feel the deepest feeling of love anytime you please. That's pretty exciting. You no longer have to hope you can get through to them. You'll know their trigger. You'll know how to reach them at the deepest emotional level, how to trigger them to feel the love that they really deserve from you. So these are the two things that destroy your relationships. Negative anchors, the failure to pay attention to the states that are getting linked to your relationship, and or failure to continue to meet each other's strategies. And by the way, the same thing is true of attraction strategies. Maybe in the beginning of the relationship, when you're really attracted to each other, you always dressed up or you went out for dates. If you want this relationship to last, you got to continually do that. You got to surprise each other. You got to trigger those same desires in each other on an ongoing basis. You got to stay out of the law of familiarity trap. An offshoot of the law of familiarity is the law of use. Whatever you fail to use, you will lose. And the bottom line is, if you don't use your enthusiasm and your passion on a regular basis in your relationship, you will lose it from the relationship itself. And the solution will not be to go get a new one, because you'll run the same cycle. You'll have that initial enthusiasm, and then you'll run right back into the same walls. The solution is for you to develop a lifelong strategy on how to enhance the quality of your relationships, and it starts with these two places. So what do? Well, I'll tell you what I do with my wife. On a regular basis, every day, we constantly ask effective questions that make us love each other more. We ask them out loud. We look at each other and we say things like, God, how did I get so lucky to get you? I can't tell you how often we say that every single day, several times a day when we're together, no matter what's going around. Now think about that. How did I get so lucky to get you in my life? The presupposition in there is, I am incredibly fortunate to have you. And I'm feeling those feelings while I see your face. Feeling those feelings while I see your face. Feeling those feelings while I see your face. That makes them feel absolutely, totally loved. And that makes them love you even more, in which case they reciprocate back. And now you're on this incredible cycle of pure, deep, passionate, exciting love. And what it does is it builds. You stack it day after day after day. So you're feeling good seeing each other, feeling great seeing each other, feeling great seeing each other. Pretty soon when you see each other, you feel great. That's how you make a relationship work. You work at creating moments. That's really been the secret to our relationship. What I mean by that is, I believe that by the end of our life, we're not going to remember everything that happens in our lives, but we'll certainly remember certain moments, certain key times where there was incredible deep emotion. And I know that both Becky and I consistently take time aside during a week and during a month to do something special together that we anchored